You will find your tolerance settings again in your Analytical Model Settings tab. They're in the Tolerances area here. And what they enable you to do is adjust the maximum distances permitted in analytical representations. So for example, if I just cancel here for the moment and go back to the project browser and go back to my first floor plan, these are the tolerances I'm talking about, these gaps here between the beams and the column. And what you're doing there is you're adjusting those maximum distances permitted in those analytical representations. So if I go back to the Structure tab, back to the Structure Settings and into the Analytical Model Settings again. So the support distance, this one here, determines how far a cantilever can extend before Revit generates any warnings in the Revit drawing area. So it is set differently depending on the nature of the project, depends on what you're building or designing. The next one, Analytical to Physical Model Distance, this one here, determines how far the analytical line can extend past the actual member itself. Next one down, Analytical Adjustment Distance, this one here, determines how far an auto-detect analytical plane can move. So what we're doing here is we're allowing small tolerances, up to a foot there you can see in an imperial setting. And what they're allowing you to do is giving you that tolerance, that scope, when you're actually showing an analytical model in Revit Structure. Now we also have horizontal auto-detect over here and vertical auto-detect. That determines when a slab bears on a wall, it is known that the analytical plane is going to drop to the bottom of the slab to be in alignment with the top of the wall. If this plane actually drops or rises at an increment greater than specified, you need to change the settings to something other than auto-detect in the Elements properties. So over here, in your Properties panel, you would need to go and change those settings. So you would need to change your top X and Y projection distances and your top alignment distances. Now I don't actually have any columns or beams selected, so what I'll do is I'll select a column like that, and if I scroll down, you'll see the settings. There we go, there's Analytical, Top Connection, Base Connection, and as I come further down in here, you can see the settings in here. So depending on how it's set up, you can change those settings. Now that is just a column right now, so the only analytical settings that you have are Enable Analytical Model. This is actually a structural plan, not an analytical plan, so you wouldn't see the settings. However, when you're setting analytical alignment for a member such as a column or a beam, you would need to check your horizontal and vertical auto-detect. So let's go back to the Structure tab, back to the settings there, and what you would do is you would set these horizontal auto-detect and vertical auto-detect to sensible values to make sure that you can check your alignment and X and Y direction projections when you're setting up your analytical model.